Hi, my name is Irina Jaculescu, and I went to the New Student Dialogue on Body Image. We talked about how our view of the ideal body was birthed through society and culture, specifically in magazines and movies and television shows. We talked about how they show unrealistic images and how those images become so ingrained within our brain that we soon take those images to be valid, and we try to be like that. We try to strive to liken ourselves to those images, and when we see that our body doesn't fit those unrealistic expectations, we then view our body in a negative manner. At the beginning, we watched a 20-minute video talking about vulnerability and how being vulnerable is beneficial and can be healthy as well as helpful in any kind of relationships, and we tied that to the topic of the mirror's false reflection, a dialogue on body image. In many ways, everyone doesn't want to show their vulnerable side, not only in respect to the way we view our bodies, but just to many areas in life in general. And during the whole dialogue, I feel that although we did talk about body image, we strayed off topic a little bit. However, the facilitators are trying to make the entire dialogue into a bigger picture instead of focusing on just one issue. I felt that through the whole thing we did achieve true group dialogue. One girl even shared a story about how her friend went through anorexia. We started off with a chain link game, and that in effect linked everyone together and helped people open up and show their vulnerable side. Despite this, there were some people that were still kind of shy. Not all inhibitions were left behind, and some people were more active in participating in group topics while others were not, and this can be expected with any kind of group. So at the beginning there was some tension during the air. We were all strangers and no one really knew what to expect, and no one really wanted to open up, but the facilitators were really warm and welcoming, and that helped everyone open up a little bit. So the voices that were more active were usually the girls, because I think girls can relate more to body image because there's more there are more advertisements and more pressure for girls to look a certain way, although there are pressures for guys as well. So overall in the group, I played the role of the participant. I voiced my opinion and made sure to say what I thought and help aid in that group dialogue. And we also split into groups of 2 or 3, and we did an activity like a social timeline and the identity wheel. And I felt that I did try to contribute more during the small group session, and to speak more and understand more of what my group members were thinking. So in contrast to the bigger group, I feel as though the dynamics were bigger, or that dynamics were better within the smaller groups. Those groups were more intimate, so people were able to open up more. So those voices that weren't active in the large group were active in the smaller group. So that's why I think that overall we had a really good group dialogue, both within the bigger group and within the smaller groups. I think that dialogue is a component of Library 100 so that all the new students can have a better transition. It helps us to learn how to communicate with others and how to have a meaningful conversation and understand both sides of the story, or understand what people are thinking. And dialogue is, a lot better than debate or loud discussion, and it's a necessary life skill, and I see it as an extremely useful tool, not only during Clemson, like my time in Clemson, but during the rest of my life in general. And through this whole dialogue experience, I got a better understanding of how and why people think in certain ways, and I learned how to communicate better with others, and I now have a better understanding of what true dialogue is. I can now take this and apply it to life, not only in schoolwork or with my professors or with students, but I can take this, during jobs. And that was another main thing that I learned, was that like what the difference is between dialogue and debate and discussion. Dialogue, you're sitting there listening to what other people have to say and you're contributing your opinion as well. While debate, there's a lot of argument. There's only one side thinks that they're right and the other side thinks that they're right, and so it's just a big argument. So I think that this dialogue on body image, first of all, it taught us how or what dialogue is and how to apply that to our life. It taught us about vulnerability and how we need to show that in life, and it just taught us how to be a better student, a better person, and how to make a better transition into Clemson.